Here's how you can paint the official Project Hail Mary Rocky model to look like a real Iridian. For materials, I used 8 paint colors, 2 different brush sizes, and 2 sponge textures, all of which I got from Michaels for less than $20. I started with a light wash of whitish cream over the entire model, and once that dried, I applied multiple layers of the muddy orange and brown paints, also as a wash, letting the paint settle into the textures on the model. After a few layers of this, I picked up my larger sponge, dabbing it into the paint to create more natural irregularities of rock-like texture, letting the paint build up in some areas more than others. I did this layering process for a good hour using both my brush and sponge, really just focusing on building up a solid base of color that looked natural. Once Rocky looked, well, rocky, I started to add dimension by using my smaller brush and some brown paint, getting all up into the cracks and holes that are already on the model to darken up the shadows. I then used my smaller sponge to dab paint with little to no water onto the model, using the oranges to create highlights, brown to create scuffs and shadows. And here's where I also brought in a warmer gray color onto Rocky's front arms and other areas as seen in the reference photos. Now for the details, I started with the white markings, which luckily are mostly already modeled into the print, so I used that off-white paint again to trace over the markings. Lastly, to finish up the main body paint, I used the off-white to lightly dry brush the edges and corners, creating some subtle highlights. I next moved on to the various green patches, starting with the layer of the light green paint, then adding a darker green layer on top, blending out the edges to create a more natural looking and crystal-y effect. The last detail is this spot on Rocky's left arm, and to get this pearlish color, I started with a layer again of the off-white paint, and then a couple layers of this fun iridescent paint that creates this cool shimmery effect once it's dry. And now I've got your very own Rocky. If only I had a bigger one, then he could really watch me sleep. Oh well.